Charita? Hello, Charita?
Hello. Hello. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, actually, we are going to discuss a question today,
All right.
right? I told last week before last, and that particular question is there on your e-learning system. Did you
All
have an
right.
opportunity to go through that? Do you have that question with you?
I'm actually logging from my phone, sir, at the moment. I'll
Hmm.
be going to office in a while. I'll do it from there.
Right, because actually this is one long question that you are going to do today.
All right. Okay.
So that is based on that question. Let me see whether I can uh, I'm trying to see whether I can share it with you here.
All right.
I see only, I don't see a place to browse and get it. One moment.
Okay.
You can't share it from this. I don't know why. Usually I can share it here. I can browse and pick from this thing, but I'm not prompted to do that here.
It's okay, sir. What's the question again?
This is about Preston Joystick Company. That's 2-page document.
All right. Okay. I'll be able to open it up within 10 to 15 minutes.
Right.
You carry on, sir.
Right. Okay. So I have printed copies here. So we are going to start there. And what
All
I'm going
right.
to do today is actually this will be done because we can do it on the board, but it can take a little bit of time. So I'm going to do this
Okay.
on the computer. So the Excel worksheet will be there on the multimedia. I'm going to share my screen.
All right, sir.
So you can see the screen, but the question and the screen computation, both you won't be able to see at the same time.
All right. Okay, sir. That's okay.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay.
I'll manage somehow. Okay.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thanks. And this template was also shared with you all. So we are going to do this Preston template. This is the worksheet that we are going to work on. Sorry. You can see it with the light or without the light. Ready? You have it. Yeah, it's in the portal. Huh? Name must be CMA budgeting template. No, after that.
And then I got the CVP and
No, where did it from? You didn't get that budgeting updated, nothing. Right. Just take a couple of minutes, read through the question once, because you need at least 10 minutes to read it and read it carefully, and then we'll start working through it.
And then you see you found it, I thought, oh my god, what happened? Yeah, other one, the same size. Yeah, curly hair would be with the broad smile. Yeah, yeah. Always.
Question is there, template is not there. I will see it. Done. Good. Yeah. Ma'am, everything under? Start sharing. So until then, we will start the discussion, right? So now, now in the last lecture, actually, we had somewhat of a detailed discussion on what is a budget and how we prepare the budget and what are the behavioral aspects. So many different things that we're supposed to know about the budgeting. We had the discussion last week. Now today, actually, this is going to be a very comprehensive question where we are going to look at for a basic manufacturing organization, the complete steps of preparing a budget, right? So that is the objective.
Yes.
Anyway, let's stay on the learning portal as well now. Complete process of preparing a budget, right? So that is what we are going to do. Now, before we start it, now can you tell me in your organization, so based on your understanding, when we prepare the budget, what is the budget that you should be preparing the first? Which budget should you start preparing first? Sales, production. So which one is better? Do we start with the sales budget or the production budget? Why sales? Production should be done according to the anticipated sales. Why production?
It's a corporation.
Okay.
I think it's beginning with the production.
Beginning with the-
Because business owner has to get idea how much and how much quantity have the product.
Any other idea for the thing? Where do you start? Where do you think we should start? Is it production budget or sales budget or anything else? Sales. Okay, your first instinct may be sales, but actually that will depend. Now, that the whole thing will depend on what the nature of your operation. If it is your business, it's a type of business where your criticality is the sales. Like say, there are organizations where achieving sales is a difficult thing. Provided that you have the sales, managing the rest of the operation is something that can be done. If that is the case, we need to start preparing the budget with the sales budget. But there are other organizations where your demand is there, but your problem is the capacity. Right? If you have the capacity, as long as you have the units that you can produce, you can sell it. Now, say your type of plantation situation also, sometimes that can be scenario. In the production. So because if like say certain crops or certain types may not be the case, but most of the scenario, you have a certain capacity, and even if the prices are good, when you have the demand, but still what you can give is only based on your capacity. So therefore, sometimes the capacity can come to the picture, and when the capacity is the picture, most of the time it will be the production, right? So when you say production, again, when you say production, it can be various things. You use the generic term production. It can be like say you use multiple resources in preparing your manufacturing your product. Let us say you have a key machine which drives the production, right? In that case, that machine capacity is what is going to drive your it limits. So whatever that you can sell, no point, but what your machine can produce is what you can sell. Or else, sometimes it may be the people, the number of people that you have. So then that is your limitation. Or else in a plantation company, probably it may be the acreage that you may be having, whatever the combination that you want to have. The capacity comes, machine capacity or the processing capacity can come later, but even before that, you may have, if you want in the longer term, if you think the capacity, that there's some sort of capacity limitation. Distribution company, it can be a warehousing capacity. It can be a meat processing or something like that. Frozen food company, that freezer capacity can be a limiting factor. So therefore, the right word is actually that will depend on the limiting factor in your organization. What constrains the operation? In certain businesses, it can be the availability of raw materials. Like if you use a critical raw material ingredient that is required for your whatever the business, and if that raw material is in short supply, no matter how much capacity you have, how much people, how much machinery that you have, or how much sales that you can make, because you don't have the raw material to produce. So therefore, that key thing is that will depend on the principal. We call it the principal budget factor. Sometimes traditional textbooks used to call the principal budget factor, but that is a key limiting factor, right? That is what we have to start. So most of the time, organizations are constrained based on the demand, the amount of units that you can sell. In that case, you start with the sales budget. But if you're constrained based on the production, you start with the production budget. That is how it operates. Right. So now let us start this discussion. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to discuss this question here. And while we do this, I'm going to do this computation on this Excel. Right. The best thing that you can do is to do the same computation along with me on your Excel worksheet. Right. But at any point of time, if you feel that you have missed it, so then you can watch it. Right. You can watch it and then later you can do it. But whatever the way you do it, when you go home, keep the computer aside, take this thing and try to do the complete computation on a piece of paper on your book, so that you will know, because here it is very easy. That's why I'm doing it here like this. Otherwise, I need about 4.5 hours to do this because doing all the calculations. So, but just do it once so that you know it is, because by doing it in Excel, everything will not go into your system. Okay, right? That is what you are going to do. Academy of Finance. Academy of Finance. No spaces, nothing. Huh? What's your question?
I tried downloading it from the, I don't know if it's my computer.
Did you use Excel in the morning?
Yeah, it's fine. I got it. from
Okay,
here and
just
I-
double check. Just double check. Now, you can just-
But I was.
Did you try the one that was copying?
Yeah, that one was, maybe it's my computer.
No, what-
But then I used it for the morning.
Did you open it? What about you? Huh? Got it. Probably sometimes when this password protected certain computers,
What's the password?
Academy of Finance.
This is.
Yeah.
Password. I'm not getting anything. Excuse me, sir. It's the channel.
හරියන්නේ නේද? මට දෙන්නකෝ කෝඩ් එක නේද? හරියද? You open it. And your case must be password, I think.
No, nothing is perfect. Nothing. See, no, that.
Huh?
It's a practice, a public and bank.
Is it public and bank holiday? 14th May? Sure, Vesak.
Listen,
Right, okay. You call him and tell him I'm okay. On the 14th. Just call him and say I'm okay.
I'm.
Yeah, say that I'm okay. If it is the case that he's calling, just say I'm okay. Huh? I'm okay on the 14th.
So I
Yeah.
don't want to go to class, so we just hang on and follow on the board.
No, we're not taking happy value. Just a minute. Okay. Correct. There's a file called Budgeting Sukun. So just sit. Bank holiday? නෑ නේද? but I don't think they part of the community. So I will name banking. Yeah, money. Oh, I don't think they may do it. Especially banks who are passe holiday declare කරාට පස්සේ banking අවසතුරු කරගන්න plan කරලා නැහැ නේ. Got it. Okay. Okay, let us start. So now we are going to do that these budgets in this particular same order that we were using. Okay. So now let us start. Now here, now got it, right? All are you ready? Now they say, so here in this particular case, we are starting the sales budget. So you have to be with this throughout, right? Otherwise you'll miss it halfway through. Based on the trend of sales and planned marketing, President of Preston Joystick has predicted that unit sales will increase 20% in the coming year. So they are predicting that the unit sales are going to increase 20% in the coming year. Sales personnel generally agree that this level of increase is realistic, provided that the company maintains a price per unit of 45. So they are looking at a 20% increase in turnover, and it is possible provided that there's a price per unit of 45 is offered, right? So that is the point here. So now you have been given the last year sales, first quarter, second quarter, third, fourth quarter, fourth quarter, right? So then, okay, that is the first part. And then you are given the production related details, direct material related details, direct labor related details, manufacturing overhead details, and other overhead details, and then budget income statement. All these details are there. So now what you are going to do is we are going to prepare this budget step by step, right? One by one, we are going to prepare this budget. So the sales budget we are going to prepare here. Now that is why we have put together this whatever the document. Now say we have the sales budget. Now throughout this computation, this structure will follow, right? So you have say quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. So we have 4 quarters, and now we have to put the last year sales units. Okay, we have to put the last year sales units, and then we will see according to what they say is if you are going ahead with a 20% increase, how much of sales we are going to get for the next quarter. So we are first we are going to get the quantity estimates, and then we are going to have the value estimates, right? So I'm going to put the last year figures here. Say last year sales units. So I'm going to put these figures here. So now I have put these figures, right? The same figures here. And then what I can do is for the year also, I can put a formula here, right? So the year annual turnover quantity will be, so I will put a formula equals this plus this plus quarter plus 4. So we have the 4 quarters of sales, 75,833. So that is the figure that you have on this Excel worksheet as there, on the question itself. That is there, right? And then we have to get the next year sales will be 20% increase on this. Okay. So what I can do is I need to put a formula here, which is going to, from the last quarter figure, it is going to increase by 20%. Right. So I will put the formula here equals 17,500 multiplied by, within brackets, we are going to increase 20% now. So 1 plus 20% is here. 20%, but when you say 1 plus 20%, when you put 20%, before you close the bracket, press function F4. Okay, press function F4. What happens when you press function F4? You got the absolute reference. Why? When you do that, you can copy the formula, right? With reference to 20 is going to be fixed, right? So then you put it here. So you get the figure 21,000 is the first quarter. Okay. And then you can copy this formula, Control C, and I'm selecting this cell, this cell, this cell, right? And then all of them. And I paste it. So then you get the 20% increase volume for the first month. For the year, the volume. These are the budgeted volume. No. Control. With the control key, you can select without with any whatever cells that you the combination. Yeah, you control C. Control C is copying, and then you select all the cells where you want to copy it, and Control V, and then it's pasted. Control C is copying, Control V is pasted. Got it?
Yeah, no,
Okay. Done, no? Right. So that is there. And then now budgeted sales. So budgeted sales value, for us to get the budgeted sales value, it will be the quantity multiplied by the price. Right? And the selling price, sales price is how much? 45. So I'll put 45 here. I'll put 45 here. So already the formula has been given. The formula is such that, say here, we'll put 1 equals 21,000 multiplied by, within brackets, 1, not 1, sorry, multiplied by straight away 45. 45, but I can again function if for so that I can paste it. So 940. Okay. Huh? Sorry? Huh? No, the first cell just for, I mean, just illustrate, I just put the formula. This is clear, right? So we knew the last year sales and we were given the percentage increase, right? And then, so then you get the next year, this year values, and then we multiply the sales price, you get the revenue. Okay, simple thing. But the practicalities we'll be looking at later, right? So that is that. In one, it's shared. In one, wait, I'll share it once, no? Clear. So no questions about this. And then we go to the second part. Now, okay, but without looking at this, can you tell me, if you know the sales budget, the sales quantities, from that, how would you arrive at the production budget? How do you arrive at the production budget from the sales budget? Is our sales equal to production, or production equal to sales rather, or is it different? Why? What is the difference between the sales and the production? What you produce and what you sell, are they the same? No, why not? Okay, finished goods are already there. Yes, so now we have to look at this. Work in progress is also there. Let us assume that to simplify it, let's not take the work in progress here. If we have sales quantity, primarily we should have enough quantity that is adequate for us to sell. Okay, so therefore we have to start with the sales figure. You need to have that minimum quantity. But in addition to that, you need to have enough quantity to maintain as your closing inventory. So you should produce a quantity which is equivalent to your turnover. And on top of that, you need to produce additional quantity to carry as closing inventory. So you need to add the closing inventory to your sales, right? But however, you don't have to produce all of that. Why? You need to produce enough to have to be sold during the period, and you need to sell produce enough to carry as the closing inventory at the end of the period, right? So therefore you need to add sales plus closing inventory. But however, you don't have to produce all of that. Why? Because you have the opening inventory. Okay, got it? Let us say you want to sell 1,000 units. On top of that, at the end of the period, you need to carry another 200 units as a closing inventory. Okay, so therefore you need to produce 1,000 units that you are going to sell, as well as you need to keep an inventory at the end of the period of 200 units. So you have to produce that additional 200 as well. So you need 1,200 units. But however, usually organizations do have opening inventories. So therefore, what you have to produce will be reduced by the amount of inventory that you already had at the beginning of the period. So therefore, you sales at the closing inventory minus the opening inventory gives you what you need to produce. Clear? That is what we have put here. The budgeted sales units. Okay, at the closing inventory units minus the opening inventory units. So then you will get your production budget. Is that clear? Right. So now to do this, first you need to have the budgeted sales. So where are you going to get this? Sales. So straight away I can, for the first cell, I can say equals this cell. You get the 21,000. Okay. So you go to this one and you put equal and you get the figure. And then the same figure, Control C, and you go and select all the other three and Control V, and you get it there. Okay, and then delete these figures, right? After you put these figures, delete these figures. Delete these figures, because then otherwise you will not be clear of what you are going to do. Okay. Okay, I believe this is clear. So now we started with the sales budget. Sales, right? So this we need to add the closing inventory and then we deduct the opening inventory. Right? So to do that, let's see, then we need to know, in order to do that, what is the inventory holding policy. Right? That says Preston Joystick would like the ending inventory of the finished goods to be equal to 10% of next quarter sales. So the next quarter, if you sell 100 units, at the end of this quarter, you need to have 10% of that as your closing inventory. Whatever that you are going to, that is usually the case. If you are planning for a peak, high turnover month, you need to have high closing inventory for the next month. If you have a low turnover month that is going to come in the next year, next month, you're going to have low closing inventory. So therefore, it will be a percentage of turnover only you have the generally, that is the policy. So that is why it has been put there, right? Right. So now I am going to say is I have to put a formula here. This cell. Can you see this cell? Just before 21,000. Right? Okay. Right, I'm going to put the formula equals, right? I have to say, make 10% of the next quarter's sales. So first of all, next quarter's sales is this. Okay, equals next quarter's sales multiplied by 10% I put already here, but again, before entering, make it function it 4. Okay. And then you get the figure 2,500. Okay. Got it? Right. And then what you do is you copy this, you go to this, Control C, sorry. Control C, and then I go here. Of course, but there's a small problem here, because now when it comes to the fourth quarter, right? Fourth quarter sales will be, so not within this year, the next year, first quarter sales only will determine what level of closing inventory you are going to have this year, right? So the fourth quarter closing inventory will be next year, first quarter's inventory, 10% of that. Next year, first quarter turnover, 10% of that. So therefore, they have given you the expected sales for the next year, first quarter will be 24,000. Okay. So therefore, I have just put here, that is why I have put here 24,000. Okay. 24,000 like here all these quarters, but next year first quarter is 24,000. Same 24,000 is copied here. Now this year closing inventory would be, therefore the last quarter closing inventory would be next this quarter's closing inventory multiplied by 10%. So you have the closing inventory figure. Yes. But 9,100 will pick from the one after the next column. So then it will pick from the annual sales. It's not based on the annual sale. It is based on the next year first quarter. Okay. Right. Now tell me, what is the closing inventory for the year? Not the amount. What is the closing inventory for the year? How do you decide on that? Fourth quarter's closing inventory. That is clear now? Year's closing inventory is fourth quarter's closing inventory, right? So therefore, that is why I put this green arrow here. The year's closing inventory is the last quarter's closing inventory. Okay? Year's end is last year's last quarter end. No, it's all, I put the formula, but then if you do manually, so that is the logic. Year end inventory is the quarter 4 end inventory. Got it? Year beginning inventory is last year's closing inventory. Year beginning inventory is last year's last quarter's closing inventory. Or in other words, this year first quarter's opening inventory. Last year's last quarter closing inventory means this year first quarter opening inventory. Right? So now this line is clear. And then opening inventory. Now, what? First quarter's inventory. Now we come. No, we are coming there, right? Okay. So now this logic. So that's here. Now, so now see first quarter closing inventory, this 2,500 is the second quarter opening inventory. This quarter closing inventory is this quarter's opening inventory. This closing inventory is this quarter's opening inventory. So therefore, straight away, these figures, this figure is based on this. Got it? This closing inventory, opening inventory is this closing inventory. This opening inventory is this closing inventory. So this is how it is going to. Okay? But opening inventory for the year, opening inventory for the year would be last year's closing inventory. Like he said, opening inventory for the year is the last year's closing inventory. Okay. But the last year closing inventory is 10% of this year's first quarter sales. Okay. Last year's closing inventory, which becomes opening into this year, is 10% of this year first quarter sales. So therefore, the figure I can put here is equals 21,000 multiplied by 10%. So you get 2,001. Okay. So the opening inventory for this year first quarter or the year, last quarter's closing inventory. Last quarter's closing inventory is 10% of this year's first quarter turnover. So that is why we have taken this year first quarter turnover multiplied by 10. Okay. So now this is there. Now let's check the answer. So in case I do something wrong with this solution, there are a couple of templates. The last figure is the answer. Right? So anyway, your solution is here. Bundle together this here. Okay, that is done. Now this is done. Okay, so we looked at the sales budget and we looked at the inventory budget, the production budget based on the finished goods inventories, opening and closing. And this green arrow indicates that the year-end closing inventory is a fourth quarter closing inventory. And similarly, year opening inventory for the year. When you look at the year column, opening inventory column is the first quarter's opening inventory is the year beginning opening. Year end closing inventory is the last quarter's opening inventory. Right? Year beginning inventory is the first quarter's opening inventory. So that is why this green arrow represents the last quarter's closing inventory becomes the closing inventory for the year. And first quarter's opening inventory becomes the opening inventory for the got it no? Right. So that's a simple situation. We have the year Q1, Q3. So year end closing inventory is the Q4 closing. Year beginning opening inventory is the Q1 opening. Okay. Right. So now this is sorted out. Sorry, 20%. Yeah, this one, no? I also can't remember why I put this. Just forget about that for the moment. I will just tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 20%. Why? I don't know why it has been put. I can't remember. Let's delete for the time being. Or leave it there. But now we are clear, right? This part is clear. Okay. And then what is the budget that you're going to prepare now? We can prepare. So when you know the production quantity, we have to plan everything else related to production. Right? If there's raw material, we need to plan for raw material. If there's direct labor, we need to plan for direct labor. And if there is any specific machine capacities, we need to plan for those capacities as well. Right? And then thereafter, production overheads also we need to plan, variable, fixed, all of them. So that is the next stage. So start with, we have to look at the raw material budget. Right? So when you want to prepare the raw material budget, there are a couple of things. Raw material budget is decided based on what? When you say raw material budget, what does it mean? What is the figure that you expect? What do you mean by what does it mean to you when I say raw material budget? How much of the product? That's an important thing. What is the quantity of raw material that is required to be consumed for the production purposes? How much raw material is consumed in producing the products that you produce? Okay, so therefore your consumption is decided based on your production volume, right? your raw material consumption is based on your production volume, right? Because per unit, there is a particular level of consumption. So depending on the number of units, you need a total level of units for the consumption purposes. Okay, right. And then what are the other things that you should know with regard to the raw material? How many units you are going to consume is an important parameter. What else would you like to know? Is that all? So, but then, what is the other factor that you should know? You need raw material for the production purposes during the period. Why else would you need raw material? You need to have some closing inventory as well. Right? At the same time, we should know how much of raw material that you are going to purchase, because that is also part of our budgets. We should know how much cash that is required for raw material purchases. Right? So therefore, when you look at the raw material budgets, we are concerned about three core aspects. One is the raw material consumption for the production purposes, right? And then what is the raw material required to be purchased considering the level of inventories? And then in order to purchase that quantity of raw material, based on the prices that we pay, how much of money is required for the purchasers? So therefore, there are three aspects, right? Raw material consumption for production, and then based on the inventory level, what is the raw material to be purchased in units? And then based on the prices, how much money that is required, what is your purchase cost? These all three aspects will have to be planned. Okay, clear? Right. So we start with the first one, the production budget. So again, shall I tell you one thing? We will delete all of them. Just delete all of them. Except for the first row, just delete all of them. First row got it. But leave it there. Huh? So then you can, okay, we'll start from there. We'll start from the first row. Okay. Okay, so we start with the production budget equals production 21,000. Is the production budget? It is just that. So then you copy it, Control C. You take all these three and Control D. So these are production budget. Right? If you double check it, you add all these four, so you get 91,300. Okay, that is the figure that you have here. Okay. Clear? Okay. Right. And then we need to look at what have they told you about that? Each unit requires raw material costing $6. Each unit requires $6 worth of raw material. They have not given you the kilos or yards or meters or anything like that, but they have given you the in terms of cost. Each unit would require $6 worth of raw material. And the company has established a policy of maintaining direct material inventory equal to 10% of the amount required for production in the subsequent quarter. Again, the closing inventory of raw material would be 10% of what is required to be consumed for production at the end of for the next quarter. Always 10 next year, first quarter's requirement will be the closing inventory. Okay. Right. And in addition to that, you have been told the value of material required as closing inventory by the end of the fourth quarter would be 14,700. So at the end of the fourth quarter, you need a closing inventory of 17,400. So we'll say, we'll just put an underline here. We will bring in whenever necessary. So now you understand the fact. Okay. Now all of you have this figure. Production budget, first quarter. First, second, third, fourth quarters production budgets are there. Okay. Right. Then direct material cost budget. When you want to prepare direct material cost budget, we have been told that each unit the direct material cost is 6. So I can put 6 here. 6%. Sorry. No. Sorry. Control Z. Sorry. And $6. I can put it here. 6. You can put either copy paste or you can put 6 here. Like if the raw material price keeps on changing over the period, then you can adjust the appropriate figure. Otherwise, you put that as 6. Okay. Clear? මොකක්ද ප්‍රශ්න? 10,400 ගන්නද? ඒකේ තියෙන්නේ මෙහෙමනේ. මෙතන තියෙන්නේ see මේක අපි දැම්මොත් එහෙම equals sales plus closing inventory minus opening inventory. Okay, right. So now direct material cost per unit is this much, 66666. This is our direct material cost per unit. Okay, and then so purchase cost, direct material cost consumed will be, this is the quantity of raw material consumed and this is the value of the raw material consumed, right? So value will be equal 21,600 multiplied by this figure, 128,000. Okay, and then you copy it. So you have, okay. I'll give you 3 minutes. See whether you can do the opening inventory and the closing inventory for this. Same logic. Just try and do it. See whether you can do opening inventory and the closing inventory. Hurry. So we were told that the closing inventory is again 10% of the next year first quarter consumption. So then closing inventory here would be next year first quarter is so much multiplied by this and function F4 so that you can copy paste the formula. You get 14,880. You will get that. And then you copy it. 1, 2, 3. You place it. Okay. And then the last quarter, they say the value of the material required as closing inventory by the end of the fourth quarter would be 14,700. Okay, so the last quarter quantity is 14,700. 40,000. Always when there is a closing inventory of a last quarter, you got to be careful because that is based on the next year. At the same time, opening inventory of any situation, you need to be careful because that is based on the last year, last quarter. So those two you have to be careful. Closing inventory of the current period and the opening inventory, both closing and the opening inventory. Closing inventory at the end of the year and the opening inventory at the beginning of the year. Okay, right. So this is there. And then our same logic. First quarter closing inventory is the second quarter opening inventory. And this closing inventory is this inventory. Okay. This is based on this. And this is based on this. So we have this. Okay. Do we have all these figures? Right. And then again, opening inventory for the first quarter, right? Opening inventory in the first quarter is the last quarter's closing inventory, which is 10% of the first quarter's requirement. Okay, so therefore straight away I can say this is first quarter's requirement in this multiplied by 0.1. Okay, so you have these details. Okay. Sorry, no, I think I wrote wrong figure. It is 10% of 128. 12,800. Okay. Right. So then closing, now this is that. This individual quarters will work like that. When you look at the year, closing inventory for the year would be last quarter's closing inventory. So that will be this figure. That is why this green arrow. And then the opening inventory for the year, would be the opening inventory of first quarter, which is okay. So now we can get the figure. Direct material purchases budget would be consumption plus closing inventory minus the opening inventory. So you get the figure 134.40. So you copy that, Control C. Me quarters hataratama. So there, 134.40, 140. Okay, right. Now we will do a small adjustment. Right? The adjustment is because now actually when you multiply this by 20%, you won't exactly get these figures. Right? These are, now see, all these figures when you look at, these figures are your decimals in it. So therefore our final answer may not be the same. So what we need to do is, instead of this I am referring to row 21, just type 21,400 here, so that we work with the rounded figures. And then put 24,800. You don't see the decimals, but that will impact your computation. 22,900. And 22,200. Okay. So there is 35. And then you add this. 91,300. Now I think these figures are okay, should be okay. 135. Now one last thing, right? So now this particular figure, now direct material purchase for the year, you can do it in two different ways, right? One is that, okay, you can have the same formula. For the year, this is the annual consumption plus the annual closing inventory, year beginning close, year end closing inventory minus the year end, year beginning opening inventory. So therefore, I can put the same formula. So you get 549,660. Yeah, you get the same figure. Or else, annual production purchases will be first quarter purchases plus second quarter purchases plus third quarter plus the fourth quarter. So then again, you get 549,660. Right? So it should tally both ways. Right? So therefore, each quarter will be working out in a particular way, but the year end will have been done in a different manner. Clear? So we had done the sales budget, production budget, and the raw material consumption and purchases budget. Okay. Right. So then we go to the next one. That is all about the direct labor. Right. So direct labor is how many people are required and what is the cost of the people. Now here, if you read through this, according to the past production statistics, and then the just-in-time improvements plan for the next year, production of each unit would require 1 hour of direct labor, which will cost 15 per hour. On average, each employee works 480 hours per month. Okay, so basically each unit would require 1 hour, and 1 hour will get you positive 15. So they have given it in a simplified manner, an hourly rate and the number of hours. So now for us to do the computation again go to this, erase it first. So delete the whole thing. Delete the whole thing, right? And now again we need the production budget. Okay, you need the production budget. So straight away you can get from here equals. So now this is a rounded figure, so I can straight away copy. If yeah, it is a rounded figure. Okay, so now I will copy. I copied it. Sorry. I missed it. Sorry. Yeah. On production overhead. So it's there. Okay. And then, so this is the production budget. And like once again, since you've been told that 1 hour is required for each unit, so then I will multiply this by 1. Everything is 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1. Okay. So this is the our requirement, and direct labor our budget would be therefore 21,000 multiplied by 1 hour. Okay. And then direct labor rate is what was the direct labor rate? Direct labor rate was 15. So I put the 15 here. Okay. So which means the total direct labor cost would be, sorry. So direct labor cost would be equal 21,400 multiplied by 50. So it's going to be $321,000. Okay. And then this is the quarter. Per person per quarter, we have been told that they can work 480 hours each person. So therefore, if I put that 480 here, 480 here, so we can also get this many hours. So here it would be, we would require 21,400 hours, right? Divided by each person will make 480 per quarter. So we require 45 people to do this. Okay. But usual case, it may be working the other way around. Here we have got the hourly rate and the hours required. And then for calculational purposes, we estimated the number of people. In real life, what you may be doing is you may be making an estimate of the hours required and you divide it by the number of hours per person and you get the how many people would require. And you will have monthly salary to convert. Right? So that's how it happens, because usually you have paid monthly paid people. Right? But now this is what it is. Now I can copy the entire column, Control C, and I will pick this 2, 3, and 4, all 4, and I paste it. So then I get the answer. So this is the answer that you have. Okay, right. Of course, here this answer is not right because the number of employees is not addition of who were there in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. So we might probably put the average of $48. So average is 48. So in periods 45, 58, 50, 48, 46 like that. So the average figure comes to 48, right? This is what you have. Because we've been told that the direct labor hours per person, every quarter, one person works 480 hours. So therefore, total number of hours required, if you take the first quarter, total number of hours required will be 21,400, and 480 is the 1 hours generated by one person. So 21,400 divided by one person's. Right. But this is a very comprehensive one, but you will get something that can be done in 45 minutes. But this tells you the whole story. That's why I do this. It will be completely on your book, on your pen and pencil. Okay. So then we go to the manufacturing overhead. So just take a minute to read this. Company separates fixed cost and variable cost in the budget for manufacturing overhead. Company separates fixed cost and variable cost in the budget for manufacturing overhead. Fixed costs are identical in each quarter except for depreciation. So the fixed costs are the same in each quarter. Depreciation will not be the same. Why? Why would the depreciation be different? If all other fixed costs are the same, how can the depreciation be different? Because if we buy new equipment, so we have to start depreciating. If we sell equipment which are not fully depreciated, that depreciation will stop. So that is the reason. But of course, now outside some companies will have a policy in the year of purchase, they may not depreciate. In that case, it is a different thing, but that's an accounting part of it. But this is what it is all about. So we've been told that the fixed overhead is going to be the same except for depreciation, right? And then that can change, yeah, obviously, yes. Variable cost, indirect material 2 per unit, indirect labor 1.5 per unit, and other variable overheads 1 per unit. Fixed overhead, supervisory salary is 90, depreciation, plant and equipment 20, others 5,000. Of course, you have been told that the fixed cost will increase in Q3 and Q4. Okay, right. Again, this is production overhead, and there is a fixed production overhead and a variable production overhead. Okay, and since the variable production overhead is given per unit, you have been given it's a per unit variable overhead rate. That is what have been given. Therefore, computation will be based on the number of units. If you were given that the fixed overhead, the variable overhead per hour, so then we'll do the calculation based on the hours. But here we have been given the amount per unit. So therefore, we'll start. You can delete the whole thing, and the first row you can have the number of units. First row you can have number of. Okay. And then first we will estimate the variable overheads. How much is the variable overhead per unit? How much is the variable overhead per unit? 4.5. So variable overhead per unit is 4.5. That is basically 2 plus 1.5 plus 1. So it is 4.5. That is variable overhead per unit. And then total variable production overhead, how much? It would be 21,400 units multiplied by 4.5. This is the total variable, 96,300. Okay. So now I can copy these two cells Control C, and then I can paste it. All these places, and then I get the figures. Sorry. So now I have the variable production over figure. Okay. Done. Okay, and then the fixed production overhead, we have been told that starts with 90 plus 20 is 110, plus 5 is 115. So fixed production overheads here is 115,000 in the first quarter, right? And then second quarter is also the same. And then the third quarter, depreciation is going to be 26,000. So already the depreciation is 20. So it's going to increase by 6,000. So this is going to be 121,000. And then the next quarter, it's going to increase to 28,000. So 123,000. This is what is going to happen. So now, that's it. Sorry? Both columns the same, no? No complication there. It's a production overhead. Huh? Okay, right. Now, total production overhead would be variable plus variable plus fixed. That formula I can straight away copy to all the columns. Okay, I can copy to all the columns. Of course, the total fixed production overhead figure we haven't put here yet. So for that, you can give that first quarter plus second quarter plus third quarter plus fourth quarter. It is 474,000. So 884,850 is the final figure that you get. Okay. Done. So now the manufacturing overhead budget is also done. And then you go to selling and administration overhead. So once again, go to selling and administration overhead, delete these figures. You can delete the figures here. Okay. Done. Right. Now, we have been told, according to the past experience, Preston Joystick budgets selling and administrative expenses as a fixed cost with the following component. So it's a fixed cost budget. So therefore, it's easier. Component. So the total salaries addressing all of that, it is 250,000 figures per quarter. It is 250,000. Actually, if it is varying with the volume, so then it is varying not with the production volume, it will vary with the sales volume. But however, there is no variable overhead component, right? So there is no variable overhead component. Sorry, variable overhead. Sorry, wait. No, it's not there. Yes, it's not there. Right. So variable overhead rate is 0. So which means the total variable overhead is also 0. Right. Fixed production overhead 250 each quarter. So the total selling and administration is the we are here. Sales is variable is so much, total variable is 0, fixed is so much, and then when you come here, what you have is total variable plus total fixed. You have 250,000. So these two columns, rows, cells I can copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 250. That is what you have.
Directly come from this figure, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, done. And then we will look at the budgeted income statement. Just read what they have told you about the budgeted income statement. Just delete these figures under the dollar signs. Delete all these figures. Okay, what have they told about the budgeted income statement? Company's income statement is prepared based on unit cost calculated using annual average per unit overhead estimate. So can you just do a calculation? Can you calculate the unit cost based on the average annual overhead estimate? Just try doing that calculation. What does it really mean to you? And unit cost based on the annual average overhead. No, unit cost is always, unit cost is coming before the cost of sales. It's coming before the gross profit. So therefore, unit cost in the, therefore will be based on the manufacturing. Okay. Okay. How much is that? Direct material cost is how much? How much direct material cost? Our direct material cost per unit is 6. Okay, we've been told when you're doing the direct material budget, each unit would require $6 worth of raw material. Okay, direct labor cost. Okay, direct labor cost 15. 1 hour at the rate of 50. Fixed production overhead, how do you get it? It's not the fixed actually. Annual overhead will be absorbed based on the annual average cost per unit. Actually, this is not fixed overhead per unit. Yeah, so that is the fixed overhead, but now actually here we can take the total cost. Annual average unit per overhead. So here I will say not really fixed production overhead per unit. Okay, production overhead per unit. So annual average overhead, how much is the annual average overhead? So annual average overhead, how much is the annual average overhead? Okay, annual overhead is how much? Okay, annual overhead is how much? Annual production overhead, see, 884, 850. Okay, and annual production is 91,300. So therefore, that would be 884, 850, 91,300. So therefore, per unit cost will be this divided by this 9.69. Okay, so therefore the total would be. Okay, so therefore the total would be. This will be this plus this plus this. So you get 30.69. Okay, right. Of course, this has decimals, right? So these decimals may have an impact. So therefore, let's use the 30.69 figure. 30.69 figure here for the calculation, not the rounded figure, right? This is rounded figure. Otherwise, the figure is this. Right? This is rounded figure. Otherwise, the figure is. Okay. Yeah, you can type on here, or we can leave it like this, and for calculation we can bring it that way. Right? Okay. Now. Okay. Now. Yeah, this is the production overhead is 884, 850. Yeah, this is the production overhead is 884, 850. Overhead budget. Overhead budget. And then this is 91,300. Okay, you get it. Right? So that is there. And now we are going to. Right? That is there. And now we are going to. Right. So this is what you have. Okay. Now my sales revenue. Where I'm going to get this?
Now my sales revenue.
Where am I going to get this? Okay, before that, I'm just want to tell you something else. Now here, this is when you calculate the per unit cost based on the annual average overhead per unit, right? But now, if not, another possibility is that, say here I have done it differently. Now, annual average overhead per unit, the cost is 9.69. But however, now first quarter, my total overhead is 211,200. My output is 21,400. My overhead per unit is 9.87. Second quarter, 226. This is 24,800. This is 9.1. This is so much. This is so much. It is 9.78. This is so much. This is so much. And this is 10. Why? Because each quarter your volume varies.
Why?
Your volume varies even if your fixed or variable cost per unit is the same according to this data. But your fixed cost, even if your fixed cost is the same, since the volume varies, in a quarter where you have low volume, your fixed cost per unit will be higher. In a quarter where you have higher volume, your fixed cost per unit will be lower because it is averaging out. Right? On top of that, since the depreciation related fixed costs are overhead increasing in subsequent quarters, that also will be a reason to change the overhead. So therefore, you could have even done this way. It is not based on the average overhead per unit, but based on the quarterly figure also you could have done it. But to maintain, since it is a budget, to maintain the consistency, they have used the same way. Okay, but the meaning of the term is that annual average overhead per unit is the total overhead putting together divided by the number of units. Why they have specified is because quarterly figure could be different due to the quarter-to-quarter variation. Okay, right. Now you go to the turnover income statement.
Right. Now you go to the turnover income.
So you come to this. Our revenue will be straight away. Our revenue is going to be from our sales budget. We go right to the top. Our revenue figure is 945. So this is our revenue figure. Okay. From our sales budget.
Okay. From our sales budget.
Right?
Right?
Done. And ඊළඟට cost of sales is what? Cost of sales will be based on what? Production quantity or the sales quantity?
Will be based on what? Production quantity or the sales quantity?
Cost of sales is? Sorry?
Cost of sales is?
Sales. What it costs us to produce the quantity that you have sold. Right? So therefore, it is basically what I can do is, so our valuation will be 30.69. So therefore, I will put cost of sales here, figure 30.69. So make it the proper formatting, right? It's some percentage formatting that has got into this is 30.69. So change the formatting to decimals.
So change the formatting to decimals.
$30.69. Okay. And then basically this is equals 945,000 multiplied by, not 945,000, is basically 21,000 units multiplied by 30.69, but again function is 4. 644,490. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Got it.
So basically your per unit cost multiplied by the sales volume.
Per unit cost multiplied by the sales volume.
Yeah, it doesn't change it actually. That was already said. Just make it easy.
Yeah, it doesn't change it actually. That was already said. Just make it easy.
Okay, right. And then our gross profit figure is obviously
right.
Sales minus cost of sales, right? And then the selling and administration cost You already have the selling administration cost to go up
You already have
250,000 anyway. So the net profit is
200,000
gross profit minus 250,000. Okay, 50,510.
50,000.
That's what you have there. Okay. Yeah. So now it's just a matter of copying this.
So now it's just a matter of
You copy the whole thing. So you get the 1052,204. So something has gone wrong. Okay, no, I'll tell you the reason. Because actually, budget ceiling administration fixed amount is not 250. I just copied the formula. No, the fixed OH is 250, 250, 250, 250. So therefore, this is actually equals this plus this plus this is the budget income. Okay, so that's the budget income statement. Right now, let's stop for a break. Right after the break, we'll look at waiting for rate.
Why are you asking for that?
Huh?
It's requested.
So we do the cash flow statement and then we do the balance sheet. And then, so some practical aspects of this we'll discuss now. Okay, so since you already went out, shall we stay? Oh, okay, let's still take 15 minutes and start. We may take about 10 minutes extra because I started late because other lecture. Right, so we'll in a 15 minutes time. Huh? Okay, we'll start in 10 minutes.